And welcome back, Wolfpack. Today's lesson is a continuation on triangle congruence. We have learned about side, 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 and angle, side, angle congruence. And today we're going to add on AAS, which is angle, angle, side, triangle congruence, and HL, which stands for hypotenuse, leg, triangle congruence. So our essential question continues to be, how can congruency be determined for triangles, and if so, what properties about them can be concluded? And today's objective also is a continuation. You're going to be able to prove two triangles congruent and justify your response on why they are congruent. So the AAS congruence theorem says that if two angles and a non-included side. So normally, well, I should say so far, we've learned that it has to be two angles and the included side. Here's an example of two angles and a non-included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the corresponding non-included side of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. And here's an example. A, and S. Okay, it's not the included angle. It's not the included side. It's not the side that's between the two angles. Okay? And then it has to be the corresponding angles and side on the second triangle. A, and S. And I can see that it's the same side on both because it's the side, okay, that's between the unmarked angle and the angle that's double marked. Again, this side right here is between the unmarked angle and the angle that's double marked. So I know that those sides correspond to each other. Okay? The other theorem that we're going to add on today is the hypotenuse leg theorem. If the hypotenuse and a leg of a right triangle, it has to be a right triangle, are congruent to the hypotenuse and leg of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So in this example, we know that these two triangles are right triangles because angles A and D are clearly marked as right angles. And the hypotenuse, BC, is congruent to this hypotenuse, EF. And the remaining sides of the triangle are called legs. There's two legs on each. Leg BA is congruent to leg ED. So those two triangles are congruent according to the HL theorem, hypotenuse leg theorem. Let's do some examples. I'm going to do A, B, and C, and I'd love to have you guys try D and E on your own, okay? So letter A, are they congruent? Well, we have angle and angle, angle and angle, and then side, okay? Angle, angle, side. Two angles and the non-included side, so yes, they are congruent. This is AAS. And some of you saw AAS on USA Test Prep when you were doing some practice today, and I told you, okay, that's coming up, and here it is in tonight's homework, okay? The second triangle, first of all, I noticed right away it's marked as a right angles and right triangles, okay? They share a hypotenuse, so obviously it's congruent. And one of their legs is congruent to the other leg. So are these congruent? Yes, they are, according to the HL theorem. Their hypotenuses are equal to each other, and they each have a leg that's congruent to each other. And then letter C, again, right triangle, so we know that we might be able to use the HL theorem. They have an angle congruent. They share a side, they share a leg, but do we know anything else for sure? No, we do not. So this one is a no. So I'd like you to try D and E on your own. Try D and E on your own. Write yes or no, and if it's a yes, name the theorem. Example 2, state the additional information we would need to prove these congruent. I'm just going to do letter A, and I want you to try letter B on your own. If we wanted to prove this congruent by AAS, what is the additional information we would need? Well, they gave us that angle B was congruent to angle F and angle C to E. And actually those angles are all congruent to each other. So whatever B is, C is, E is, and F is. So, okay. So we have the two angles. So we need now a side from each one. So we would either need that AB is congruent to DF, or you could say we could need that AC is congruent to DE. Either of those would give us, angle, side, okay? So I want you to try letter B on your own, and then we are going to do the proof in class. So please make sure that you have your homework done, be ready to go, and I will see you guys next class. Have a great day.